Disclaimer, this podcast is not affiliated with, endorsed by, or connected to Alcoholics Anonymous, Al-Anon, or any other 12-step program. Content provided is based solely on personal experiences and information that has been shared with me. The purpose of this podcast is to share insights in the hope that they may be helpful to listeners. I am not in any way a professional in the fields of addiction or recovery, so the opinions expressed are solely my own. For professional advice, for support, information, or help about 12-step programs, please consult with a qualified professional, not me. Attend official program meetings, which are on their official websites. Thanks. Who's right? Who's wrong? Children of chaos, grace of God, fear, frustration. Let's learn how to lighten up with Tradition 4. Right, y'all. So I was originally going to do a AYQ, answer your questions, but there's no comments and there's no questions. So I guess you're all just doing well, understanding this stuff, don't have any questions. So that it's good, I guess, too, meaning I've not made it confusing. I kept it simple. So I won't take myself personally here and I won't be offended. And this really leads into Tradition 4, which is my favorite because the motto of Tradition 4 is Rule 62. Don't take yourself so damn seriously. And we're going to go sidetrack off the main road here, go off this little exit called Lusmilla's Tangent about Rule 62. I'm not someone that's really into tattoos. I love them. I appreciate them. I just don't like them on my body. So I always said that if I were to get one tattoo, it would be Rule 62, done like a little highway on my body somewhere. So my lovely man of the hour and hours and hours of my life, which means my daily man, Oz, got the tattoo. Now, I say I didn't get the tattoo. He got it for me because that's where he got it from because, it's all about me. It was my idea. Not like I was the first one to ever think about that because I'm sure there's tons of recovery hunters out there who are listening to this right now saying, wow, I have that same tattoo. And I bet a bunch of people where that Rule 62 could definitely be applied to. Rule 62 applied to. I just rhymed there. Didn't mean to, but that's what's just happened there, folks, and you have witnessed it. Let's get back on track. Tradition 4 states each group should be autonomous except in matters affecting other groups or AA as a whole. So from the previous traditions, take out AA and look at it. Each group should be autonomous except in matters affecting other groups, right? As a whole organization, as a whole unit. I can step back. And how does this apply to me? Well, each person is autonomous except in matters affecting other people or as a whole, like as a group. This goes back to Tradition 1 where I am not an island in the stream. That is not what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong? Sail away with me. That song is just, love that song. Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers. Oh my God, so good. So good. All right. Back on track. Third time. Here we go. I bet someone could keep counter and click it and find probably by the end of it, I'll go off track 6 or 7 or 8 times. And this is another one. So there you go. This is probably the 4th one. What that is saying is that every person is entitled to their own opinion. Everybody has the right to be wrong. And I love that, this whole don't take yourself so damn seriously. And I'm going to tell the story about this one because it's just really, really great. There was an alcoholic, goes to a town and decides to start a group and then recognizes that he could see how he could clean up the whole town. So he decides to open up a center. And then on the center on the first floor, he has this vision on the first floor, they would bring alkies in, check them in, sober them up. On the second floor, they would help alcoholics get their money in order. On the third floor, there would be therapists and relationship counselors. And of course, you can imagine, as this idea began to unfold and they developed the center, well, a whole bunch of things went wrong. Some people were not wanting to come in sober. They're just wanting to come and get their relationship problem solved or get a little therapy or get help with their debt. So this idea of their purpose being to help alcoholics became this frenzied mess. So then the owner of that, the bleeding deacon, the great I am, decided to start putting rules. You can't do this and this person can't do that. And we're not not going to do this and you can't do this. And he had all these rules and he kept piling rules. He kept piling rules. It reminds me, if you've ever seen Harry Potter, in one of the Harry Potters where, I forget the actress's name, she's fantastic. And she keeps putting rules, and the groundskeeper and custodian of Hogwarts keeps stacking the rules up, and then finally like literally blows over. That's what happens here. It all fell apart. And at the end of this guy recognized, I was trying to be all things to all people. I was trying to control the uncontrollable. It just created more chaos, confusion, and calamity, and came to a humble realization that it may have been a wonderful idea, but you can't control everything. It's impossible. So he started up again, just a group, and the only rule for that group was Rule 62, because he had 61 rules. He got up to 61 rules, and the 62nd rule was, don't take yourself so damn seriously. And I love that. And this is so true. Like Children of Chaos, we've played with every brand of fire, but it's the grace of God that brings us where we stand. And that is true for me. Children of Chaos, I'm an emotional pyromaniac. I have a penchant of torching up my relationships, whatever they may be. So I'm mindful that restraint of pen and tongue, to be mindful first, take a pause and really think about what's best and ask myself, am I trying to control this? Am I trying to get an effect here, in the sense like I'm wanting things to go a certain way? Tradition 4 helps me to realize really is that humility of recognizing I'm human and other people are human, and that we learn through mistakes, misunderstood. We mistake something. So I get to practice more tolerance and compassion with those. It teaches an interdependence, not a codependence, and not a dominance in my life. And how can I contribute in a healthy, loving, empowering way without being a bull in a china shop? Oh my gosh, speaking of a bull in a china shop, reminds me when I was a kid. It just goes to show 2020 hindsight. Definitely with the ADHD, little budding alky, how I was always a little bull in a china shop. We would go to the department store, and if my mom had to get anything that had to do with glass or china, I had to stand outside of the edge where all the glass and china was, because she'd know that I'd probably break something. So telling, so telling. Anyway, 4, exercise your right to be wrong. Allow others the right to exercise their right to be wrong. And in this way, I can find, when I think about the other traditions, this common ground, this place where I can have much more patience and tolerance with myself and with others, that everybody has the freedom to choose and the freedom to behave. And it doesn't matter how many rules or conditions I apply or instill. People are going to be people. You know what I mean? Like, people are people. So when I use Tradition 4, it helps me to lighten up. And if I lighten up, I will bring so much more light and generosity of spirit into my relationships. And I can set healthy boundaries with others without being domineering, controlling, or come from a place of fear that I'm gonna lose what I have or not get what I want. And there you go. That is Tradition 4 in a tiny nutshell. I guess it would be more like a C. This is why these traditions don't take that long. They're really simple principles that you can start to use now in all your relationships. And I hope that is what you're doing with what I'm sharing here, using them in practical application. That is the end of Tradition 4. We'll move on to Tradition 5. I had 77 people so far download and listen to this. Yes, I've got analytics, though I don't know how to analyze the analytics. It just said 77 downloads. So thank you so much to those 77 people. What a great number, too. 7-7. Ironically, that's also when my Chihuahua was born. He was born on 7-7. So I feel like there's good juju in that number. However, it would be superlicious, fantastic-gabulous if y'all could share it even more and I could bump it up to a nice 100. That would be super sauce. Super saucy, sauceum, awesome. And like I said, I was going to do an AYQ, answer your questions, but I'm going to postpone that till after Tradition 6, and maybe some of y'all will have some questions for me to answer. If not, that means good job, Lusmilla. I've actually accomplished sharing these traditions. I always say sharing these traditions in a way that's bite-sized, digestible for y'all, which is wunderbar. And that ends another round, ding, 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 of the traditions, brought to you by Lusmilla. Thank you all. Please, for the love of all that's sacred, subscribe, share, comment, review. I have to thank Disco Gal, know who you are, girl, for reviewing. I even left my own review. That's how geeky and cheeky I am. So review, like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you all next time. Oh, and check out my Linktree. It's got some other stuff. And once we do the traditions and concepts, there'll be a whole host of other things. Do you know how hard it is to just talk into a round black ball and look at a computer screen of your own voice moving? Really weird. Oh, I don't know how I'm doing this. Anyway.